Came outside today and we have a mama duck over there with her babies behind her. This is the second time we've had a duck with its babies in our backyard, but at least this time they're not in the pool. We didn't have to jump in and save all the babies. The Florida ducks out here do kind of look like turkeys though. Definitely caught me off guard when I first moved out here. You know, I got to thinking lately, and I've realized that it's been a while since we've done anything with poor old Wago here. She's been sitting under the carport, and I don't think we fired this thing up for months. And today, we're gonna change that. I think the last time we really did anything major to Wago was when we got the paint job done, got her all looking fresh on the outside, got some new wheels on her. But there's still a lot that needs to get buttoned up on this thing as far as the interior goes and wiring, and just some loose ends that need to be tied up. So today we're going to be doing some stuff to Wago, and I think, I'm not going to officially announce this yet, but it's looking like we might be taking Wago on sick week, because I think that'd be pretty awesome. It is coming up. Wyatt's getting his truck ready, and last year we took the hatch and it did phenomenal. And I figured this year, you know, we could give Wago some love and you know, cruise it around and just have a good old time, because I think I'm gonna be most excited just to watch Wyatt's truck go down the track, and I don't want to be wrenching and fixing a race car the whole trip. So hopefully we can button up Wago and I can just take it and enjoy the journey, but at the same time turn this thing up and make it quick enough to have some fun. So she's been sitting under the carport here for quite some time, and since the carport doesn't have any walls to the sides of it here, we do have some leaves and stuff that have gone into the engine bay over time, and it did have some coils missing from it that we have borrowed as it has been sitting here, but I got all the coils back in it, and I had to put a crank position sensor back in it as well. And something is up with the starter currently. I'm not sure why the starter's not working, so we have to manually bump it right now to get it out of its place. So I got the computer back in it as well, because we borrowed that for the airboat. And you can see our wiring down here could definitely use some work. So that's all some things that we want to get taken care of, get the interior put back together on this thing, and just get Wago looking better and get this thing dialed. So I got the tune loaded back up and she is powered on. Got the jump box on there because it has been sitting forever and the battery is way dead. So we're gonna go ahead and see if old Wago will fire up for us here today. I got a wire on the starter. Well, first let me turn the key on. Prime that fuel pump, get rid of that door chime. All right. Let's see here. Come on, Wago. I know it's been a long time. I'm sorry for neglecting you out here. Let's see if she wants to run. Come on. Nothing. Yeah. Oh, I know what it is. It's the map sensor. I swapped that out for the FRS. Yeah. Or was it the FRS? Yeah, to turn the FRS up. So we'll have to get a new one, but I can fix that for now. Poor Wago, just getting all of her parts stolen. There we go, try that. Got her on stock map sensor now. Let's see what that does.
Fires up now.
It's starting to smell like gas.
Yeah, I bet you these injectors are floating.
Yeah, the injectors probably aren't too happy either. I wasn't asking. All right. Got some brake clean in there. See if that does the trick. Hopefully it doesn't backfire all loud. Trying. Let me move the screwdriver.
Give her another little blast. Yep.
Give her another little squirt. She's gonna go. Wago's been in hibernation, so she's not wanting to wake up right now. down a hole.
Yep. I bet you an injector is plugged up or something.
Yeah. She's been sitting for so long. All these freaking leaves. It's better than sitting with no carport though.
Yep, 100%. She's back though. Hopefully do something cool with it.
Yep. We got a lot to do though.
Yep.
She's a little rough. Poor girl.
She's half baked, that's
Like,
for
just
sure.
keep me away from James and I'll be okay. So we got Wago pulled in here, and you guys could probably hear on camera that it was down a cylinder. It's probably just a clogged up injector or something like that. But regardless, we're going to be pulling this thing all the way apart so we can make some more power with this thing. Because right now, Wago has a K20 A3 in it. And the K20 A3 is not the greatest of the K series. This one is completely stock, and they're not really good for power. A good stock K series, either like a 24 or the good version of the K20, can make, 400 to 500, even 600 horsepower easily on a stock engine. The A3 is not the greatest. It has smaller rods, and they're just not built for power. I would not be comfortable pushing this thing past like 400 horsepower, and I'd like to try to make a little bit more than that reliably. Wago used to have a K20 A2 in it, and it made 450 horsepower on that thing stock. It handled it no problem up until we took it to Texas about 3 years ago. That was the last time it was on the drag strip. I ran it all day, and I believe we went an 11.4 at about 120-ish miles an hour. And I told James that if, it gets through the day okay and it's still running fine after that, he could drive it. And then you guys know the story of what happened there.
Can I rip it in first?
Yeah, go for it. Just oh! I probably should have said no. Damn it, James!
You told me I could do it.
That motor exploded after James drove it, and then this one was gifted to me, and I just put it in there just so I could get it up and running quick again. And it really hasn't been to the drag strip or done anything crazy since then. But this K20 A3 has been in here for a couple years now, and it has had zero issues. But I know if we want to turn this thing up and actually have a decently fast car out of Wago here, that that guy's gonna have to go. There are some maybe rods and stuff you could do to it, but the rods are different than a typical K20. I believe the rod bearing is different as well. They're smaller. So overall, it's just not the best one, even for a builder to upgrade. So that brings us over here. You guys look at the engine stand right here. We got ourselves another K20, but this is a Z3. So a K20 Z3, and these guys can make a lot of power stock. I found this one on Marketplace, and the story on this is that it was hydro locked. I guess the guy that had it had a intake that sat really low in his front bumper on his car, and he ran over a puddle and it sucked up some water, and supposedly it has a bent rod. He said that it still ran good and it just had a slight knock to it. We pulled the pan off before I got it from him. There was no metal in the oil, nothing in the pickup, no shavings. So I believe his story. It's definitely been sitting out for a while, but this is a good builder engine. And I figured since we're going to be tearing into Wago anyways, we'll go ahead and make this thing a little spicy. We're going to build a motor for Wago. I haven't ordered any parts yet though, because I want to confirm that this will be a good builder engine for it. So today I'm going to be tearing this thing apart and just making sure that nothing is damaged. As long as the crank is good, the block is good, the head and everything is good to go, and it's just a bent rod, and that's all it is. Then we'll be in good shape and we can go ahead and start ordering stuff and get a built motor in Wago. And then if all goes to plan, we are going to be taking it on sick week. So let's dive into this thing. I paid $400 for this on Marketplace. A little bit of a gamble, but we'll see if it paid off, because if everything's good besides just that rod, it was well worth it. Well, I got the head off, and this is what I saw. These 3 pistons are all up here together, which means there is a broken rod somewhere. Go ahead and turn this thing over. I'm assuming it's this guy because the 2 middle ones should spin together. And if that's the case, I don't know how there was no metal in the oil. But yeah, that one is definitely broke. So we got a busted rod on that end one there. So far the head looks good. I flipped it over. It doesn't look like the piston made contact with it. So that's a good sign, even though it's all the way up here. And yeah, we'll just have to flip it over and get the pan off, get the pump off, and pull everything apart. See if there's any more hidden damage. All right guys, so I got the oil pump pulled off along with the windage tray, and when I showed up to pick this thing up, I asked the guy if he could pull the oil pan off just so I could look up inside of there and make sure it wasn't completely destroyed, and got the pan off, and that's why I pulled the trigger on it, because I didn't see a whole bunch of metal shavings or anything like that. I didn't want to completely tear it down in this guy's driveway and make a complete mess. So after looking at it, I felt like it was a good gamble. So got it off, and if you look right here, it's pretty crazy. The rod actually snapped off, and it's wedged in between the counterweights of the crankshaft there. And it looks like it might have just barely nicked the bottom of the cylinder on both sides there. But from what we can see so far, I think we're looking in pretty good shape. We got pretty lucky here. So check this out. When I turn it over, the rod just is stuck there. Look at that. Snapped right off, and you can't move it at all. It wedged itself in place. And got real lucky, because if it didn't do that, it would have just been in there whipping around, and that's probably would have put a hole in the side of something somewhere, and chunks would be everywhere. So the rod snapped, wedged itself instantly, and then the piston, you know, just stopped where it was at in the cylinder there. So I don't think there's any major damage, but I will confirm once we get the crank out of there and pull all the way apart. But I'm pretty sure we'll have a good engine here to build for Wago. So I'm pretty excited about that, because after I saw the head come off and then all 3 pistons were at the same level, I was like, that cannot be good. That rod probably tore some stuff up, but I think we're good to go. But I'll go ahead and get it out and see. So I got everything laid out here on the table, got the K20 completely disassembled, got the block all the way tore down, got it cleaned off, and everything's looking good to go, guys. So that rod luckily did not do too much damage. Go ahead and flip this guy over. You can see on the bottom of the block, or on the bottom of the cylinders, where the rod barely made contact right there and right there. So very minor. Might just need to barely clean that up with a die grinder or something, just to make sure the skirts of the pistons don't get scuffed up, but very minimal damage there. So we are looking great. So yeah, awesome news. The gamble paid off, and the marketplace broken motor wasn't completely destroyed, and the rod is still wedged in the crank right there. That's the last thing I have to pull apart. But considering I got this thing for 400 bucks, I say we score. Oh, I got so much oil everywhere, freaking guy. But paid $400 for this thing on Marketplace, and considering the heads fully assembled with the cams go for upwards of almost $1,000 in some cases, easily $500-600 bucks just for the head alone. The block's a good couple $100, the crank's a good $200-300. Definitely got our money's worth, and we'll have a great builder for Wago here. So I already went ahead and got everything ordered, so hopefully we will see some parts coming in over these next few days, and we can go ahead and get to getting this thing built and get it back in Wago. And as long as everything goes to plan, we should have this thing up and running for Sick Week. We have a lot to get done on this thing besides even just building the engine, but I hope you guys are excited to see Wago back. And I'll be really excited to take this thing on sick week and cruise Wago like the good old times. Well, guys, we're ending it off there, but today is officially day 1 of sick week prep for Wago. And it's day 900 something for Wyatt.
Oh yeah, 900 and no, it'll be over 1,000. It's like 1,150 day for me.
You were supposed to have it ready for a couple events months ago.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it could have been ready a long time ago, but
The truck's close though. It should be able to make sick week.
oh, I mean,
Yeah,
knock on wood,
don't say anything yet.
But there's a 98% chance it'll make sick week. So,
You better turn that thing up, dude. I'm coming swinging.
dude, I'm gonna gap that ass on fuel only. All right.
Don't let him talk smack to you like that, Wago.
Sorry,
Got to get
pal.
him while he's still turned down and testing.
For real. Definitely have to line them up. That'd be cool.
Yep. We will be there, boys. Getting ready for sick week. I believe it's February
Second week of February.
12th or something.
I
Is
think
when it
it's the
starts.
12th,
So
yeah.
we'll be trying to get Wago and Wyatt's truck out there. And the goal, at least for me, is to crack 10s with Wago. I'll be pretty pumped on that. She's been 11.4 before with like 450 horsepower. Just don't let James get anywhere near this thing, and I think we'll make it through the week, no problem.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be too big of a deal. Should make the power to do it. So,
And we have a lot more changes coming up that we have yet to show you guys.
yeah, a lot of cool things happening around here.
Gonna be a busy month.
I'm telling you, 23 is gonna be our year.
We'll see, make it or break it.
Make it or break it.
All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. So we'll see you later.
Bye.